Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. Today is Tuesday, and, well, what I thought I'd do is just talk to you guys a few minutes about something. This is my opinion, so please, oh please, do not take it as, gospel or anything, but this is how I feel. You guys remember, by the way, before I do that, don't forget, we're doing a giveaway for the Voltage Check Shop grips. We're going to announce a winner on Friday this week. So this Friday, we're going to announce a winner for that giveaway. But in order to be eligible for that giveaway, you still have a few days. You have to subscribe. You have to leave me a comment that says, I want these grips, or tell me why you want these grips. And any of my videos listed below or listed in the channel, I don't really care.
By the way, their grips are really nice.
Yes, they are really nice. And if you will subscribe, and leave me the comment telling me you want those grips or need those grips or however you want to put it in the videos, I will check and I will look and
say grips.
Select a winner on Friday, and we'll see if we can't get in touch with you to get you those grips. So keep an eye out for that. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/virtualnunchucks. Twitter @VNunchucks is my Twitter handle, and of course twitch.tv/virtualnunchucks. Now, with all that stuff out of the way, let's talk for a few minutes. I don't want to do this very long, but I've noticed a trend that's been kind of sort of building for the last few years. You remember back in the day when, for those of you who are older gamers like myself, back in the day when you had a Nintendo, or you had a Super Nintendo, or you had any console up until recent times. When you spent however much money you spent on a game, you got a complete game. You got a game that when you started it, the story started, the gameplay was there, the mechanics were there, the story started, and the story ended, and there was a complete, total package to the game. If the game, like for example, if you played 007 Nightfire PS2 days, the game even had a multiplayer split screen mode that you could sit on the couch with your friends and play various James Bond characters and shoot one another. It was a complete game. It was all offline, of course, but you could play it. The story was crap. I'll have to admit that. I'm a big James Bond fan. I played it, but the story was crap. Okay. But it was a complete game from start to finish. There was a complete and total package. Multiplayer, single player, everything. It was all there. And you paid X amount of dollars for it. Here in recent times, in the last few console generations, PS3, PS4, we have seen the advent of DLC, which is downloadable content, which as it started out, it was an expansion to the existing game. The game was still complete. The game still had a beginning, middle, and end, and it was a complete package. But you could pay X amount of dollars for a piece of downloadable content that usually was some kind of expansion. They'd give you extra missions, they'd give you extra gear, weapons, or whatever the case may be. And this is the game, what's on the screen is the game that I'm currently just playing for fun. Okay? But in recent years, it has become, DLC has become almost a bad word. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Used to DLC on the PS3 for Call of Duty. Since I have it up on the screen, I'll use it. For Call of Duty, you could pay I think it was $14, I think, and you would get I believe 4 or 5 different maps, completely different maps, completely new maps. They were created and put on the thing for multiplayer for the game. Okay, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, the same way. Okay, and they were new maps. They weren't rehashed. They weren't strange maps. They weren't things that you've seen 100 times. They were new locations for you to play on. But nowadays, it seems like the publishers, and you could just put publishers on a wall and throw a dart at any of them. Okay, Ubisoft, EA, Activision, anybody. Okay. Nowadays, when you say DLC, it usually means that you pay for a game, $60 for a game that you hope is a complete experience, and it ends up not being a complete experience either. In the case of, for example, Soul Calibur 6, I've been paying attention to that because I'm into fighting games. That was actually my bread and butter when I was younger, was fighting games and things like that. So I do pay attention to that still. Playing a few tournaments every once in a while. But Soul Calibur 6, I do not own that game yet, but I do understand that you have a base roster of X amount of fighters. But you can add more, obviously, with either the season pass or you can buy them individually and add to your roster. Now, by itself, that's fine. I did that with Injustice 2. I got every fighter pack they released because each fighter pack had a certain amount of fighters that were brand new. The Turtles, Sub-Zero, Starfire, things like that. Okay, and I'm okay with that. But where it becomes a problem is the roster was cut in half of mainstay characters for Soul Calibur, and then they slowly added them back as DLC, as additional fighters for the season pass. Now, some of those were new fighters. Some of those were not very many, from what I understand. A lot of the mainstays for that series are locked behind a paywall. And if you've been paying attention to most recent events here in the last few days, where you have games, a few weeks, months, years, whatever, a couple years now, where they've been talking about games as a service. Now, in theory, games as a service is this. Games as a service means you pay X amount of dollars for a game that you can play at launch, but they will continue to update the game. They will continue to make the game better for players, either by balancing or adding new content or what have you, in the effort to increase replayability. Okay, that's the theory of games as a service, and in theory, I can get behind that. Okay, I can get behind extending a life of a game, especially if you pay $60 for it, especially if you support the game from launch day, and especially if it's something that you like. I can get behind the game, supporting a game for a number of years instead of maybe a single year, like Call of Duty likes to do, or a couple of years. For example, the games that like to try to do that, the most recent ones are Destiny, The Division, and the most recent train wreck, unfortunately, by the people that I love the most, BioWare. I happen to love their games. I think they're awesome storytellers. I think they are awesome storytellers, but I think there were some errors obviously made with Anthem, and they completely messed that up. But the idea is to continue to let people play the game. Problem is that they're pushing that so hard. Games as a service. This game's going to last multiple years. Keep coming back for more content and more content and more content. I'm okay with that. But I'm not okay with sacrificing quality.
For money.
Right. I'm not okay with sacrificing quality for money. I'm not okay for sacrificing quality just so you can have more content to put in your games that originally were going to be put in the game to start with, but you decided to hold them back so you could make more money. I'm not okay with that, and I don't think I'm the only one, because if you pay attention to YouTube and the internet in general, forget about YouTube. If you pay attention to the internet in general for the last couple of months, and especially in the last couple of weeks, people are up in arms about Anthem and the fact that they practically faked their E3 press conference in 2017, and they were in development for 5 years on a single game, and EA, rightly so, this is the only time that I'm ever going to stick up for EA, but hold on. EA says to them after 5 years, look, we have a release date for this game. We want a game out. Rightly so. They've paid for development of this game for 5 years. BioWare, due to mismanagement, whatever you want to call it, couldn't make up their mind what their game was going to be. Either it was going to have flying in it, it wasn't going to have flying in it, it was going to have, different. It was going to have multiple towns. It wasn't going to have multiple towns. Now they're down to one. Now it's just a fort. It was going to have moving artillery. I don't even know what it's called because I don't play the game. But it was going to have moving artillery that you could interact with, and now it doesn't. There's a static one on the map. I don't get it. I don't get it. Make good quality games. To me, this is how this works. Make good quality games, and we'll keep coming back to it if you continue to give us content. If we have to pay for that content as a piecemeal to offset the cost of some of that, in the form of new weapons or new cosmetics or a new expansion like they used to do. Hey, we got a whole new, 3-hour expansion to whatever. Here it is. Here's an additional story element that we added to the game to expand. I'm okay with that. I don't understand why we are sacrificing good quality games. And the most egregious publishers, so far that I have seen in the last couple of years to do this are EA, Activision, and right now, I want to say, who is that does Soul Calibur? Team Ninja, I think. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played a Soul Calibur game, but I don't know, man. I just don't understand. What happened to your passion of making a good quality game? What happened to management's passion that says we are gamers first? And if I sit down and I play this and it's crap, I'm not putting it out. I'll work on it some more or whatever. Hold on, I'm gonna have to pause what I'm doing because the phone's ringing.
It's for you.
I just wonder sometimes where the passion for gaming is. I just wonder, has gaming, instead of becoming a hobby and a thing that people love and people are passionate about it, and I know they have to answer to stockholders and their companies, and companies are concerned about money and making money and wanting to make fistfuls of it. But I got news for you. If you would make good quality games, you would make handfuls and handfuls and bucketfuls of money for good quality games. For example, the reason EA bought BioWare was because BioWare made good games. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, 1 and 2. Mass Effect. Whatever you want to say about Mass Effect Andromeda is fine. Whatever you want to say about the ending of Mass Effect 3 is fine. But they were good, solid games. Passionate people are passionate about those games and love those games. I could go on and on. You know, look at the most recent Santa Monica Studios God of War game. I mean, that game's brilliant. That game is so much fun. And the story is so...
play that game.
That game is so fun, and the story is just amazing, and the environments and everything. So you make good quality games, you're gonna make money. When Call of Duty came out, the first time it came out, before multiplayer, before all this stuff, Call of Duty, I want to say Call of Duty 3 because that's the only thing I know how to call it. Not Modern Warfare, not Modern Warfare 2, but the ones prior to that, the ones that came out, they were good games about the trenches of World War II, and you know, they were good games. They were tactical shooters, but they were also story driven, and they were good, and people loved them. That's why when Modern Warfare came out, they were all like, yeah, cool, and then it just went over the top with the multiplayer. But the passion is gone. Now Call of Duty is a cash cow. Let's be real. Whatever you feel about Call of Duty, you like it, that's fine. I like it. I think it's fun. Okay? But I don't feature it on my channel a lot because I'm a single player channel. But Call of Duty is fun. It's a fun game. But it's become a cash cow. There's no real innovation anymore. There's no real innovation with the maps anymore. There's no real innovation or no real reason to put a real good, compelling story in them anymore because nobody cares. Case in point, this one's only a multiplayer only. You either play Blackout or you play multiplayer. That's it. They think that because it has a Call of Duty name, that they're just going to make millions of dollars. And as long as we continue to support it, they'll probably be right. Okay? And I don't know, I really don't like the CEO of Activision simply because he already said in an interview that he's going to take the fun out of video games. I mean, there's no passion anymore. There's no drive. And then when you make a game as a service, you want to expand it again. You want to expand the longevity of a game. Great, wonderful, but don't give us like cobbled together pieces of a game and say, here you go, pay $60. I don't see the passion that was there, and that just makes me sad because I started on the Atari and the Atom 2 computer back in '85, and the arcade cabinets before that. So, I mean, I grew up with this. I'm in my 40s now. I wanted my son to enjoy games and share the passion that I have for games and the hobby that I have. This is something that we can share and we can do together. But even that's going by the wayside because people don't want to do split screen and couch co-op or couch competitive anymore because it's really sad that the passion seems to be going away, and companies are saying, no, you have to push this out because we need to make millions of dollars, and who cares about how long it's going to take to do it. And the only people that I see that still have a passion for it, to be honest with you, are the people at Sony. Because, let's be real, because I know Next Level Taken's going to be like, but the Xbox. Next Level, man, I got you. I understand. But even your Crackdown 3, an Xbox exclusive, was not critically received very well at all, and the player base and the fans don't like it, and they're mad at Xbox anyway because they didn't have very many exclusives. They didn't have anything to put out, and so when they finally did put one out, it's crap. And I'm sorry about that. It breaks my heart, you know. I wanted to play Xbox when it first came out, back when Mass Effect 1 came out. I wanted to play that because it was an exclusive to Xbox, and there was the only way you could play it was either PC or Xbox. I wanted to play it then. You know, Mercenaries was on Xbox. There were a few other ones that were on Xbox, and they were great games. And I was like, man, I can't do this on PlayStation 2. I can't do this on PlayStation 3. I want to play that because people cared about what they were doing, and it showed. And it's just sad that it doesn't seem to be that way anymore. Now, if you disagree with me, of course, leave me a comment down below. I will answer them. I will read them. I will answer them. We'll have a conversation about it if you want. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being challenged, my opinions being challenged. I'm okay with it. My son challenges my opinion all the time. I'm okay with it, you know. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. But that's where I stand right now. And please, if I ever get big enough, EA and Activision and Ubisoft and whoever else wants to, you know, try to get my attention and say, hey, you want to review this game? You want to look at it? Insomniac, I'm looking at Spider-Man 2. If you want to do that, I'm good with that. I will definitely review that for you, hands down. If BioWare wants to come back with a ridiculously awesome Mass Effect to say I want to redeem myself, I'll review that one. I'm good with that. You want to hand me a copy, I'll review it. You know, I'm good with that. But
You don't have enough subs.
but
To matter.
you know, but I have to give my honest opinion. I have to give my honest feelings as a gamer, as a person who plays games. I don't know if it's the suits or if it's the developers themselves, or if a combination of the two. Because if you look at the BioWare article by Kotaku, it seems to be a little bit of both right now, and that's really sad. But anyway, again, that's my opinion, and if you disagree with me, if you have another opinion, if you want to discuss that, you can leave me a comment down below, and I will certainly read them and I'll respond to them. Now, I don't want to see any hate and disrespect for those of us who have varying opinions. You can be respectful, and you can be respectful of each and everyone's opinion and still disagree. So let's not see any hate about it. But I just want to put that out there, okay? See you guys tomorrow, and I hope if you did enjoy the video, again, leave me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you guys think, because I could be wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. I could be right, you know, but that's why I put out these opinion pieces, because it is strictly my opinion. So leave me a like if you enjoyed the video. Of course, it shows your support. And as always, I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit more Detroit Become Human. We're almost done with the walkthrough of that, and then we're going to go on to another game and do a little bit more with that, because, hey, that's what we do around here, is games. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a great day, all right? Thanks.